Tell me if this sounds familiar at all. You were excited when you bought your first rental property. You imagined all the benefits that owning real estate would bring, how it would grow your wealth over time and eventually help you reach financial independence. And while you were learning the ropes and trying to get a hang of being a landlord, you also had to find some solutions to some logistical hurdles, like how to track the income and expenses of your property, whether you should have separate bank accounts for your operating expenses and your security deposits, what bank it should be with, how to collect rent, and so on. Most new landlords, myself included, don't think about any of these issues before they buy their first rental property. So often the solutions are arrived at on the spot in a pretty haphazard fashion. Income and expense tracking? I'll use a spreadsheet. Bank accounts? Yeah, I'll use my regular checking account as my operating account, and I'll throw the tenant's security deposit into a savings account with Ally Bank so they can earn some interest while it sits there. How to collect rent? I don't know, I'll take check, cash, Venmo, Cash App, however the tenants are willing to pay. All of these solutions are fine for the time being, and when I bought my first year rental properties over 10 years ago, I fell into the same pattern. But as you go from one property to 2 and 3 and so on, these solutions begin to drastically decline in utility. Spreadsheets become harder to keep with multiple properties, especially with multiple units in each property. Having commingled banking becomes a nightmare, and by the way, a huge legal no-no if you own your properties in an LLC. And random means of rent collection becomes more and more of a drain on your organization, efficiency, and patience. If you are dealing with any of these feelings now, believe me, I can relate. Having grown my rental portfolio from a single duplex to over 170 rental units in the last 13 years, I've gone through many logistical growing pains and have tried out numerous platforms and solutions. I can tell you that there are a lot of choices out there and that many of them do offer pretty good options. But with that said, most of them come with a price. Usually there is either an upfront fee or more commonly a monthly subscription. This in itself can be a pretty significant negative when your rental cash flow is already being squeezed by other unavoidable expenses. But this is why I wanted to make this video specifically for my fellow mom and pop landlords who have been struggling with the issues of record keeping, rent collection, and banking, and tell you about a new platform that I recently became aware of called Baselane.com. Now, full transparency and disclosure, I am affiliated with this company and I am being compensated to talk to you about it today. However, I have thoroughly reviewed their products and services and I am very, very impressed with what I have seen. I'll give you a quick overview in this video, but please feel free to do your own due diligence and research before you make any decisions about whether you want to use them or not. So first, what or who is Baselane? Baselane is a financial and property management platform designed specifically for small mom and pop or independent landlords and real estate investors. It offers solutions for all the hurdles that I mentioned in the introduction of this video, and it also provides some pretty amazing banking and ancillary services, particularly geared for landlords. As I'll explain in more detail in a moment, these include unlimited checking accounts, virtual and actual debit cards, rent collection, bookkeeping automation, and third-party ACH payments. While Baselane is not a bank, it does work through its banking partners to provide a business checking account to property owners. So what are the features that make Baselane, in my opinion, the best free option for property management for small landlords? Well, number one is that it is actually free. As their team has explained to me, right now there are no plans to charge any monthly or other fees just for having a Baselane account. They offer all of their core services for free. Another great feature of Baselane is that you can either link your existing outside bank accounts or open a new bank account through Baselane's banking partner, which you can then use to run your rental property through. The nice thing about opening a new bank account through Baselane is that it functions like a high-yield savings account, where any money in that account earns an average interest rate 100 times higher than most conventional banks. So if you're like me and you do keep a substantial amount of money in your rental property operating accounts at all times, that can add up to a pretty significant amount of money over time and can really boost your bottom line. Now, of course, the interest rate is variable and will move up and down over time. But again, to me, this is a cherry on top as it does not require any additional time, effort, or transfers between external high-yield savings accounts. All of the money is in one place and accessible for business operations while making this kind of return. Not only that, but you can have as many sub-accounts for each of your properties as you'd like. So for example, you can have an operating account where you funnel the rent and from which you make ongoing payments for various expenses. You can also have another sub-account for your security deposits and the third one for your capital expenditures or reserves. All of these accounts will function independently, allowing for separate bookkeeping, while at the same time continuing to earn that awesome high-yield interest return. Speaking of bookkeeping, Baselane allows you to create various automations and labels for recurring expenses, which makes reviewing your property's finances very easy. It also allows you to make various manual entries and labels, and overall seems to be very user-friendly and simple for anyone to learn how to do very quickly. Once you start fully using their bookkeeping system, you will never again want to deal with spreadsheets or even pay for expensive bookkeeping software like Quickbooks. Baselane has very robust analytics options, even including breakdowns of your income and expenses, tracking exactly how they would appear on a Schedule E. It allows you to export the data in various formats, which allows you to easily share it with your tax preparer or CPA. As I already mentioned, another core feature of Baselane is the electronic or online rent collection. As long as you can get your tenants' cooperation, rent collection will become extremely easy and automated. Once you invite your tenants and they create the logins for their tenant portals, you won't have to ever again worry about checking your P.O. box for late rent checks, driving across town to collect rent in cash, or messing around with platforms like Venmo, which really aren't designed to be used for rent collection and don't come with any kind of built-in record keeping that you need as a landlord. The platform can be accessed both by you and your tenants on a computer or through a smartphone app, which makes it really easy and convenient to do everything you need to do from the palm of your hand. At this point, you might be wondering, if Baselane is offering all these things for free, how are they staying in business? And that's a very good question. One of the ways they make money is by charging fees if you decide to use their lending products to finance, refinance, or take lines of credit against the equity in your properties. This is not by any means a requirement in order to use their platform, but rather a convenient option that is available to you and offers some pretty competitive terms. On the purchase loan side, the qualification requirements are less onerous than most third-party banks, and loan limits range from $55,000 up to $2 million. Additionally, refinance loans are also available at competitive interest rates, 75% max loan to value, and a minimum of a 680 credit score for individual borrowers. Another way Baselane makes money is by offering property insurance. Again, this is not a requirement to using the platform, but more of a convenient bonus. According to the team at Baselane, most average owners that buy insurance through Baselane are able to see savings of up to 25% on their current property insurance. A third way that Baselane makes money is by charging the renters a 2.99% transaction fee when the renters use a credit or a debit card in order to pay their rent. However, keep in mind, as I said earlier, that if the tenants choose to pay their rent through an ACH transfer rather than a card, then that is entirely free both to them and to you. There are many other nuances and features of Baselane that I don't have time to get into in this video, but I will talk about in more detail in future videos. But I did also want to mention some things that are currently not part of the Baselane offering, but that will be in the future. Specifically, right now, Baselane does not offer tenant screening or apartment advertising on its platform. I am told that this is something that is currently in development and will roll out very soon, but right now you would have to use other platforms to fill this gap. I have several dedicated videos on one of those platforms called rentprep.com, which I'll link in the description below. But you should keep an eye out for Baselane's version when it rolls out as well, and I might do another video reviewing this aspect of Baselane's offering if and when it does come out. Additionally, Baselane does not currently offer any built-in tenant communication or maintenance requests and tracking system. However, again, this is something I am told they are currently working on and will be rolling out in the near future. I think that both of these features are important and will make Baselane a well-rounded solution for mom-and-pop landlords. However, even in its present state, I think that Baselane is an excellent choice for cost-conscious landlords who want a well-built product which offers some unique benefits. If you guys want to check out and sign up for a free Baselane account, please feel free to use my affiliate link, which I'll put in the description of this video. And of course, you don't have to use my link, but I would appreciate it if you did, as these types of videos take a long time to create and it will help me continue making real estate related content like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.